Welcome to the Predictive Playbook powered by Sportsmemo.com. I'm your host, John Ryan, and I'm pleased to have Joe D'Amico on the show from Sportsmemo.com. Always full of energy, full of life, full of ideas, full of intelligence, second to none. Welcome to the show, Joe. How are you doing today?
John, I am wonderful. It was a wonderful weekend here in Las Vegas. The sun is shining. I spend a little time by the pool, as you can tell. And this is the time of year, even people in our business, we get a chance to step back a little bit, take a little breather. We have a very high demand. I don't know if the people out there know what people like me and you and the other professionals over at Sports Memo put into this. When you're sick, you go to a doctor. When you have a legal problem, you go to a lawyer. When you want to invest money in the stock market, you go to a proven winner. People like you and me and the other pros here at Sports Memo, we are up while most people are counting Z's, they're counting sheep. We have the background, the resources, we have the knowledge, the connections. And guys out there, if anybody ever tells you they know about a lock or a fixed game, get rid of them. Just forget about that. It's no such thing. I do lose, and John and I are going to talk about that in a moment. But, we in this business, this isn't something I do. This is who I am. I'm up and getting information, and the information I get is on injuries, line movement, which to me is invaluable because we've all lost or won a game by a half a point, and most of us have more of those losses than we care to admit. So line movement, injury information, things like that is what I talk about information. But I'm up at 1, 2 in the morning every day, 365 days a year. This isn't what I do. This is who I am. I also bet professionally as for a living. And I have a good living, John. I drive it, I wear it, I live in it, I walk it, I talk it, I eat it. I'm married to it,
Yep.
So, this is what we do. And, this is why we do what we do. And the guys here at Sports Memo are the best there is. And it's great to kick off a Monday with you, John. I don't want to say anything. But you and I might be the best-looking tandem in the history of this business. We really are. We're a good-looking tandem. We have a lot of fun, but we give out good, solid content, too. We have a few laughs, but we give out good, solid content, too.
Yep.
And I want to thank you for allowing me to share my Monday with you.
Absolutely. It's a privilege. I feel the same way. I know we're going to be looking at a Major League Baseball game here, and we'll get right to that. We have the Minnesota Twins, who are playing the Chicago White Sox tonight, 8:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at Guaranteed Rate Field in Chicago, Illinois. Game time temperatures sunny, partly cloudy a little bit, 72 degrees Fahrenheit. No rain in the forecast, at least right now. Chicago is a home favorite of -130. The over-under for the game is 8.5. Kenta Maeda will start for Minnesota. He is 3-2 with a 4.85 ERA, and Lucas Giolito, Chicago White Sox starting pitcher, even record of 5-5, 3.80 ERA. Joe, take it away and tell us who to bet on in this game.
Well, John, since the season began, Chicago has been consistent. Currently, the White Sox own a 2.5-game lead in the AL Central, and they're one of the best home teams in the majors. Guys, sports fans, they sport a 28-14 record at Guaranteed Rate Field. Minnie is in a three-way tie for the division's last place, 11.5 games out, guys. These two rivals have met 6 times. I could do that again. 6 times in 2021, with Chicago prevailing 5 of those 6 meetings. Including the one loss, guys, the White Sox have outscored the Twins 48-23 this season. Both at the plate and on the mound, the Shy Sox. And if you're old like me, I'm going to be 52 on Thursday, John. If you're old like me, you remember when commentators used to call Chicago White Sox the Shy Sox. The Shy Sox rank in the top 10, both at the plate and on the mound. John mentioned a moment ago, Kenta Maeda and Lucas Giolito are starters here. Both pitchers have had success against these lineups, guys. Recently, and I'm going to give the Twins this, the Twins have started to surge a little bit. They're playing a little bit better ball. However, to me, John, sports fans, I don't put all my stock in trends and streaks, but I do put some of it, particularly when it comes to baseball. To me, baseball is the streakiest, the trendiest of all the major sports when you're looking at betting, the betting angle. I want you to know, to me, you can't ignore the fact that the White Sox have dominated the Twins this season. They've had their way with them. It doesn't matter who is on the mound. a team's ace against a crappy pitcher against a team's ace. It just seems Chicago is beating them up. Guys, there are certain guys that certain people just can't beat. John, I'm a big fight fan. I know everything there was to know since the beginning of the fight days. One of the single greatest fighters that ever lived was Jake LaMotta. He fought Sugar Ray Robinson, who, by the way, is the greatest fighter that ever lived. 6 times, he beat him once, guys. And if it wasn't for Sugar Ray, Jake LaMotta would have been known as one of the greatest of all time. And he's in that talk. But some teams just can't beat other teams. Some fighters can't beat other fighters. And I will tell you this, the Twins can't beat the Red Sox. Here's some numbers I want to share with our audience very quickly. Minnesota, 0-4 the last 4 at the White Sox. 3-10 the last 13 as a road dog. 2-5 the last 7 during game 1 of a series. Let's flip it. Let's go Chicago very quickly. 40-14 the last 54 versus teams with a losing record. They beat up on teams that are not very good. They flex their muscles, guys. 41-15 the last 56 is a home fave. 44-18 the last 62 overall at home. We talked a moment ago about how good Chicago is at home. They're going to get another home win here. I see, as John mentioned, $1.31, $32, $33, $34. I don't like to go above $1.45 to $1.50, guys. But I really do think that this offers great value. I think it's a win today, and I think Chicago turns things around, goes into the second half of the season because we're only a few weeks away from the All-Star break, guys. With momentum, and I think that you're going to see Chicago starting to separate themselves from the rest of the division even more than 2.5 games.
Yeah, I love it, Joe. You know, I would be remiss if I didn't bring up the Yankees because you are a big Yankee fan, and I'm not trying to rub salt in a wound by any stretch of the imagination, but about a month ago, we started talking on the Manny's Pub show that airs at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday, that there was something really not brewing so well with the Yankees offense. And the stats, you know, you look at the flash stats, walk percentage is excellent. They get men on base. They just don't get runs scored. And it's at such an anemic level. It's just unimaginable that 8 or 9 guys in that lineup aren't able to come through, you know, with those clutch hits. And I really couldn't believe what I was watching over the weekend, and it has to be a little disturbing to you as well.
Yeah.
But from a handicapping standpoint, have you been able to isolate what the trouble really is, and how, like if you're the manager, how you would go about correcting it?
Well, I will tell you, John, and as a Yankee fan, it breaks my heart, and I will tell you one of these games over the last few days, I believe I put them out as a free play somewhere, or I talked about it on a show somewhere, and you know, the Yankees don't turn around now. They may be in trouble. They are in trouble. You know, over the last 3 or 4 seasons, they've had trouble with the Tampa Bay Rays. And this season, Tampa Bay is really starting to talk about flexing their muscles. They're a very good team. Right now, 4 teams are in the hunt of the AL East, which is still the most competitive division in baseball. There are 4 teams with a winning record. No other division can boast that, can brag that boast. The Yankees, I mean, right now, I think you got to look at their manager. You know, I wasn't a big fan of Joe Girardi, even though he's Italian. I'm supposed to be a fan of every Italian, but wasn't a big fan of Joe Girardi. I think there was a few years they could have won the World Series, and I think that he held them back from it. I think right now their personnel is a little tired. You're right, though. There's no clutch hits. They're not driving in runs. Some of their pitchers are a little tired. Yeah, they got a couple of injuries on the mound, but, you know, you can't blame it. One player or 2 players should never make or break a team. They should never be the reason why a team's winning or a reason why the team's losing. Because on a 162-game regular season, you're going to have injuries. This is a team that really needs to get their stuff going. And I will tell you, traditionally, and we don't have to go over the last 120 years, but or 100-plus years, they have had their way with Boston. And Boston's taken, don't quote me, 5 or 6 in a row this season, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me. I know I could be wrong on that. All right. You know, they're having trouble with Boston and Tampa Bay. Now, do I think Boston can keep winning? I don't see it. I think they're playing above themselves. I think Tampa Bay is a team to beat right now in the division, and I'm saying that because they have had the Yankees number. Now, coming into All-Star break, can the Yankees get a little rest, a little R&R, so to speak, and get back on track? Absolutely. You got to understand, John, they're the Yankees. There's no team in the history of all the major sports that is on the level of the New York Yankees. When they win, people love them or love to hate them. When they lose,
Yep.
the media gets on. They have a big payroll. We know this, but they're also playing in the biggest media city in the world. Listen, you could stub your toe in New York, and it resounds more than if you break your arm in Iowa. It doesn't matter. New York is always the biggest media city in the world. It's the epicenter of the universe. So whatever happens in New York, particularly in Yankee Stadium, is going to echo throughout the sports world and throughout the world.
Yeah.
They are good. There's a lot of talent there. Do I think they're out of it? No. But right now, I still think Tampa Bay is probably the best team in that division.
I think it's amazing that they're only 6.5 games behind Boston at this point and not getting the clutch hits. But I believe there's going to be a run by the Yankees in the second half where they'll rip off 12 of 14 games, 18 of 20, something ridiculous like that. They're too talented for this to continue. It's mind-blowing, absolutely mind-blowing. And you're right about Girardi. I've seen some decision-making in Philadelphia now that is head-scratching.
Well, what I didn't like about Girardi, John, was the fact that he was strictly a pitch count guy. I saw CC Sabathia have a no-hitter going in late in the game, and he yanked them. They were up like 8-0. He yanked them. 6-0, 7-0, 8-0. I understand certain things, but when a guy's in his zone, you got to keep him in a little bit, especially in a lead like that. We're looking at baseball overall. San Francisco is holding on to that lead in the West, which a lot of people did not think. I thought they were going to be a good team. I had San Diego ahead of LA and then San Francisco, but there's proving a lot of people wrong. The Central, you and I spoke with Rob Vino just last week, how the Milwaukee Brewers are the only team in that division that has a winning road record. And what happened? Now they have a 3-game lead in that division. The Mets are clearly, they outclassed the rest of the NL East. I would throw out Seattle, LA, and Texas. It's a 2-horse race in the West. It's going to be a good race, too, because Houston and Oakland, tons of talent, tons of exciting ball players. We just talked about the AL East. The Central, I'm going to tell you, I think Chicago is a better team than the other 4 teams in that league. I am surprised in Minnesota because I like Minnesota. I think there's talent on the team. I just can't, just like the Yankees, John, something's not clicking there, and there's talent. They got good pitching. They got good hitting. I'm not saying every pitcher and every hitter, sports fans. Don't quote me on that. But I'm saying there's a lot of talent there, and I thought they'd do a little bit better than Detroit and Kansas City. And right now they're tied with them at 11.5 games out in the division. Another 2-horse race, but Chicago, clearly the best team in that division, John.
Yeah, I agree with you. And speaking of the Houston Astros, you segue right into this one. My betting angle of the day, and this is a monster betting system. I hate betting large favorites unless it's in this situation, and this is simple. You're going to bet on home favorites of minus 175 or more that did not have an extra base hit in their previous game. And for the Houston Astros, that is a rarity. This particular angle has gone 226 and 75 losses, 75% winning bets last 5 seasons. The $100 better has made over 7,700 smackers and a terrific 16% ROI just doing this. And you actually don't even need a spreadsheet for this one, because all you're doing is taking a favorite of minus 175, didn't have an extra base hit the game before, done. And then if this home favorite is 200 or more and facing a struggling opponent, visitor with a win percentage of below 40% on the season, 55 and 15, 79% winning bets over the last 5 seasons, tells you to bet the Houston Astros with confidence. Not all these games are going to win, of course, but this one really stands out. And you got the old-timer veteran competitor. I don't think there's a greater competitor right now in baseball on the mound than Zach Greinke. And this game just looks like, a rout. So my free pick for the show is the Houston Astros. I would just use the money line and not the run line. Just use the money line for this, and a 3-unit amount. And we have Joe has 2 plays up on the site now. We all know I can promote anyone much better than I can promote myself. But we have 2 plays up right now for Joe that total $50. And you can grab another 2 days right now and pay just $59 for his 3-day package using the code as you see on the screen, capital JOED59 for the 3-day pass. And guys, this is a great value. If you have never had his picks, spend the $59. It's like 2 cases of beer, for goodness sake. And learn. And you will learn so much in 3 days, you just won't believe it. And I can promise you that for sure.
If I may, last week I put out 2 big games in baseball on Tuesday. I was featured on the $2 Tuesday. I put out a 5-unit and a 10-unit. They both won. I put out 3 major NBA plays at the beginning of the week. Game of the month and 2 games of the year, all won. Towards the end of the week, I hit a speed bump, sports fans, and as good as I am, and as many handicapping championships as I've won, I hit a speed bump towards the end of the week. Yesterday, ugly. It was uglier than Larry Bird, and Larry Bird is ugly. Saturday was okay. I believe Saturday was ago. Friday, ugly again. Towards the end of the week, I hit a couple of speed bumps. So I'm not above it. I'm not beyond it. But one thing I will tell you, that there is nobody as good and there's nobody better than Joe D'Amico for bouncing back in this industry. I will bounce back today. 2 games I have on the board. Now, John mentioned that we have a discount. We'll talk about that again. I have my NBA Western Conference Finals Game 5 winner. I like this game a lot. And I have my MLB Monday Moneymaker. Sports fans, there is nothing better than starting off your week with a win. Wow, it's like waking up and just hitting the lottery. You start off the week, it sets the tone for the week. And as John mentioned, Joe D59 upon checkout, you get a big discount on my things. Now, I got to segue in, John, because we are the best looking pair in sports betting today. I don't know about a better team that's better looking than you and me, John. Together, I'll tell you right now, we're like Lee Mazzilli and Bucky Dent. We're the 2 best looking guys in the sport. I want to say that John Ryan, over the last several months, he hasn't crept up. He came in like a tidal wave, and he is on leaderboards as well. He won't tell you because he's a humble guy and he's the host of the show. But John, he's whooped some bookmakers' ass the last few months, and I'm very proud to be friends with him because I've been an admirer of John for quite some time. But he is on the top of those leaderboards, and he's the host. He's going to toot my horn more than he's going to toot his own. Go over to Sportsmemo. He's got some winners up too, guys. If you're not getting me, that's fine. I'd like you to get me. But if you're not getting me, I want you to win. I'm here for you. And if you don't follow me, you don't follow John Ryan. He's on fire, I'm telling you now. Go over to Sportsmemo. Get some of his plays. Trust me, he'll make a believer out of you too.
I appreciate the kind words. And I'll just show this screen. This is my current streaks. I was unaware of the 35-game college and NFL streak that I ended the season with last year at 73.5% against the number. But that's the beauty of our staff at sportsmemo.com is there's no team better on the planet, and that's just a simple fact. So,
John, can we throw a shout out to some of the team members? They've been, since I've joined up, I want to continue with your stuff, but since I've joined this family, and that's what they are here at Sports Memo. There have been people in the back end like Missy and Melissa and Jason and Johnny. I got to tell you, the support that I get from them, there is no team. Let me tell you, you could see me out here. I could go on a run. John could go on a run. But we wouldn't be able to do what we do without the support from the Sports Memo team. And you guys are the best there. You guys are the New York Yankees of sports teams. I can't thank you enough, John. I'm sorry, I want to go, but without them, we couldn't do what we do, and we couldn't do it as wonderfully and as smoothly as we do. So our team there, the Sports Memo team, you guys are the best. And since I've joined, I can't tell you how happy I am. So thank you all. But John, it's NHL for John Ryan. It's NFL. It's NCAA football. It's NBA. He is kicking butt and taking names on the ice, on the field, on the diamond, on the hardwood. Go get some of John's plays, man. He's not just a good-looking face. He's a winner, too.
Thank you, Joe. I will admit I had a very frustrating Saturday. I had the Phillies at plus 220. I didn't even recommend playing the money line. The run line. It was the money line bet, plus 220 against DeGrom, and things are looking good. 8th inning, they score. They're up 3-2. And they added to their Major League Baseball leading total of 20 blown saves, and I just about puked. But I was over it in about 10 minutes.
You
But
know,
when
I
you
had,
lose
I
it,
had a
those
similar.
sting a little bit.
I had no. You know what? And you know why they sting? Because the losses are few and far between for people like us at Sportsmemo, and they stick in your craw. I mean, listen to me. I had a million great dates in my life. Over the last 21 years, I've had nothing but great dates. I had a, but you remember the lousy dates, you really do, and those bad beats, they stick in your crow for a while. John, yesterday I had the Houston. Was it Houston on the run line? San Diego on the run line. San Diego Padres on the run line. I'm up. They give 3 unnecessary runs up late. They win by 1, and I was very upset because I caught them at a really nice price. I gave them out at a nice price. It happens, John. But
Yeah, it does.
The thing it is the transparency. The transparency we offer here at Sports Memo is amazing. I don't like losers, but they stick in my craw. They really do. They really do. And I have to get out ahead of it because there are people, John, and I don't badmouth them. There are people that never talk about losers or never claim to have a loss. And one of those. I'd like to see what they drive and where they live. Because
true.
I will tell you, the transparency you receive from the handicappers like John, myself, and the rest of the great cappers over at Sportsmemo is unrivaled. We have our records up. We have our streaks up. We tell, and then we come, and me, you, and Rob, and even Tony, we spent almost a whole show talking about a bad beat, and it happens. But the transparency and the honesty, there's a thing called integrity, and it's a 4-letter word these days. There's a thing called integrity, and we show you. We talk about our losses, and I had a loss with the Padres yesterday, and John, it pissed me off. It pissed me off, but that's part of this business, and the champions we are. We bounce back. Today's Monday, and you know what? We'll sweep the board today, baby.
Yep, I agree, Joe. I really do. And I think that'll be a wrap for our show today. I like to keep these things right at like 20, 25 minutes, and entertaining as always. So, Joe, thank you for being on the show. Thank you for the promotions. And make sure, guys, $59 3 days. If you buy us 2 plays today, that's $50 right there. So for another $9, which is slightly more than one good IPA, you can get 3 days of his premium picks, and it's a great test drive. So make sure you get over there and do that. My football package is a little bit more expensive, but still it's less than $800 for both college football and the NFL. You see the track records, and Joe and I've been doing this a long time, more than 25 years, and we do have the confidence to say that we know what we're doing for the most part. There'll be games that it looks like we were standing on our head and we lose by 21 or 4 touchdowns even, but there's going to be a lot more of the games that come through on the winning side of the ledger. So for Joe D'Amico, myself, wagertalk.com, sportsmemo.com, and the Predictive Playbook,